911, where's your emergency?
Yes, I need to report a two-vehicle accident. My name is Travis Reeve. I'm the athletic director here at El Campo High School. There's several kids that are hurt badly. The address is 600 West North Street.
Okay, is there how many? You said two vehicles involved?
Yes, there's two vehicles involved. There's several kids that are hurt. There's looks like there's two trapped.
Still inside the vehicle?
Yes, there's two trapped inside the vehicle. There's two that's been ejected, and they're hurt badly.
Okay, I'll go ahead and get officers en route. Okay.
Okay, please tell them to hurry. This is not good. Please tell them to hurry.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mom and Dad. I just wanted to say goodbye, and I want y'all to know I love y'all very much. And to all my friends, I hate that I won't be able to graduate with y'all. I just want y'all to know I love y'all very much, too.
Hey guys, it's Brian. I hate that I ain't there with y'all right now and that I'll be missing prom and graduation. And I want to thank all my teachers and coaches and friends and family for always being there for me and making me do my best. Y'all stay safe and make good choices. See y'all.
There's going to be so many things I'm going to miss. Prom, senior year, birthdays, graduations. I wish I could go back and tell my friends and family how much I left them, but it's too late.
To all my friends, family, and classmates, goodbye. I hate that I'll be missing prom, graduation, birthdays, and holidays with everyone. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to say goodbye to everyone, so goodbye.
I'm Chase Mossick, and what I'm going to miss most when I'm gone is my friends, my family, and not being able to see my little siblings grow up.
Hey guys, just wanted to let y'all know how much I'm going to miss all of y'all. So sad I won't be there for Corn Dog's big double digits birthday, y'all's 40th birthdays, and even Caden's 21st. Y'all won't get to see me get my driver's license, dance with my favorite dad at prom, and graduate like I have always looked forward to, so celebrate these big times for me. I love y'all for more than words can explain.
As my final goodbyes, I would like to say to my mom and dad that I hate that I'll miss out on all the times that we'd expected to have together in the future. And to my classmates, I hate that I won't be able to graduate with y'all and spend any more time with y'all. I will miss you all. Goodbye.
Dear friends and family, I know that I'll be missed, but I just want y'all to know that I love all y'all to the bottom of my heart, and I just want y'all to be strong and stay blessed. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mom. Goodbye, Dad. Sorry you won't get to see me graduate after all. Bye, Jax. Sorry I don't get to see you in high school.
Since I didn't get the chance to mention it, goodbye Mom, Dad, and all my close friends. And it's disappointing to accept that I won't be attending senior prom. I won't be finishing up this year's soccer season, and most of all, I won't be walking the stage at graduation anymore.
Goodbye to my mom, dad, Madeline, and the rest of my family and friends. Knowing that I'm going to be missing y'all, along with graduation, the end of my show season, and so many more events, makes this even harder.
Hey guys, it's Meredith. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has impacted me in my life. A big shout out to my family, mom, dad, and siblings, to always being my number one supporters and always being there whenever needed. Secondly, to my friends and classmates all throughout the crowd today. Thank y'all for supporting me in everything I do and always willing to lend a helping hand in class or outside of it. I truly appreciate every single one of y'all, and remember, live your life to the fullest because you never know when it ends.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for everything y'all have done for me throughout these past years of high school. And to my best friends, it is so hard to believe that I won't be with y'all during our whole senior year. I'm missing out on so many cherishable memories, like our last year of volleyball together, all of our 18th birthdays, prom, and graduation. I will miss all of y'all. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Dad, Mom, Hadley, Michaela, Kendall, Cooper, and everybody else. I hate that I have to miss out on the best part of my life, making lifelong friends, going to prom, graduating, and more. I wish I could get another chance to make things right, but it's too late.
Dear friends, family, and classmates, it's a surreal feeling to leave these last few words behind. To my family, it pains me to know we won't be able to celebrate any more holidays, events, or milestones together. To my friends and classmates, it saddens me to know I won't be walking the stage or attending prom with you guys. All the bonding over stress from school and all the laughter will now just linger. All of y'all, friends and family both, have shaped me into who I am. I will mourn all the memories and conversations we will never get to have. I love you all, and I will always be cheering for you guys. Goodbye.
Hey everybody, I'm really sad that I won't be able to make it to prom or graduation or do all the fun things in life, like see my little brother grow up or see my niece grow up. But now I'm at peace.
To my family, I hope each of you know how much I love you and how y'all's guidance has shaped me into who I am. To my friends and loved ones, I am so grateful for the lessons y'all have taught me and all the laughs we've shared. I will miss each and every one of y'all so much. Be safe.
Dear Mom and Dad, and of course Mackenzie, it's heartbreaking to see that I won't be able to finish out my senior year show season or even go to A&M like I had expected. But thank y'all for everything you have done for me, and I love y'all very much, and just know I'll always be watching over y'all.
Hey guys, this is Kaki. I just wanted to say how thankful I am for all the friendships and memories I've made here at ECHS. And as the time has come for me to leave, I just want to express my gratitude for all the people who have shaped me into the person I am today, especially my coaches and family and teammates. So
Just remember to always be safe and smart and make good decisions.
Hey friends, I'm sorry that I'm gone, and I wish that I could be here for prom and graduation and make all the memories we were supposed to have. I will miss you all.
I'm gonna miss my mom, my brother, my grandma, my friends as well, my classmates too. I won't be seeing y'all. I'm gonna miss, my birthday, prom, graduation, everything like that. Those special events. And I won't be graduating with y'all. It's gonna be a sad case.
I wish it didn't have to go like this. I wish I could go to prom with my girlfriend and enjoy spring break with friends and walk the stage with everyone in just a few months. But sometimes things happen that we can't control. I wish I could have controlled this. I wish I could have said a goodbye. But all we can do is wish.
Goodbye, Mom, Dad, and Mason. I'm gonna miss y'all so much. I'm gonna miss all of my friends too. And it totally sucks that I'm gonna be missing out on graduation, prom, and my Derby Doll Spring show for senior year.
I will forever be blessed for the amazing people in my life. My wonderful friends and beautiful family have been the center of love and support. I'm sad that I will be missing the next chapters of my life, but I know this is all a part of God's plan. Thank you, El Campo, for the best 18 years.
Goodbye. I hate that I have to miss everything. Prom, even graduation. I'm sorry. Mom, Jerry, Nala, Chris, Emily, and Connor, I will miss and love you all.
Guys, I'm gonna miss y'all. Really hate to miss football senior year, prom and all this. Hanging out with all y'all. Gonna miss my family. Just gonna miss all y'all.
To my mom and dad, I love you and I will miss you guys dearly. To my friends, I will miss all of you so much. I won't be with you guys for graduation or prom, and I won't make it to your birthday parties, or your games, or your track meets, or any sports events you guys may have. To my sisters, I love you guys, and I will miss every one of you. I hope you all are taking care of yourselves, and I hope that you all are happy.
I was always cautious when it came to cars and getting into wrecks. It wasn't until I was actually in one where I realized two scary things. One, that years worth of life and experience can be taken away within seconds. The other being the fact that it could have all been avoided. You're only one bad decision away.
Good morning. As we gather here today for this ceremony, the symbolization of what it means. Last night I had an opportunity to reflect. The reflections took me back over my 26-year career in education. "23 students. 23 students as an educator that I've had to talk to the families. Gather in assemblies just like this to tell the students about a classmate that has passed away. To talk to parents and let them know as a community, as a school, we're going to do whatever we can to provide comfort and support. As a young child, we take a lot of things for granted. The one thing that we have to remember is yesterday is the not too distant past. Even though today is the present, we will make many mistakes. But the one thing that you have to always remember is tomorrow is not promised to any of us. I'm not a huge Garth Brooks fan, but one of his songs ends with these words. So tell that someone that you love just what you're thinking of if tomorrow never comes. At this time, we'll have Coach Reeve come up, give us a prayer.
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for today. We thank you for your love and your grace and your mercy. Lord, I thank you for each and every life that's here today. Each and every one is so very important. We know that life is a gift from you. I pray that throughout this day and the days to come, that you would give us wisdom to protect that life, that you would give us courage to make the right decisions, even if we're the only ones willing to make that decision that will protect our life and the life of those around us. I pray that our eyes might be opened to you and to your many blessings. We thank you for your love. We thank you for your grace. Pray that you might bless this time, bless these people here. Pray that's your name. Amen.
Thank you, Coach Reeve. At this time, through all of the emotions from yesterday, we're going to ask that the students have an opportunity to come out and be reunited with their parents so that they can observe the program. We understand the emotions that you've gone through, even if it's just a dramatization. Because the one thing that everybody has to understand is it's difficult for a parent to have to write an obituary. And it's difficult for a child to have to say goodbye. So at this time, could we have the students reunited with their parents? See, these gets to be happy moments because we still get to control the narrative. We get to control the opportunities and the things that are in front of us. We get to still tell these loved ones that we love them. We get to show them how much we care. You'll have an opportunity to reunite with your friends. You'll have an opportunity to reunite with family. Get an opportunity to witness joy, and we get an opportunity to understand that we're just pilgrims traveling through a barren land.
My name's Caleb Edwards, 29 years old. I'll be 30 in just over a month. Man, that's a big old crowd. Hey. So I'm here to share just a small little bit of my testimony, guys. And it wasn't just 12 years ago. I was sitting in the same exact spot y'all are. Sitting there with the same dreams and hopes in life that every one of y'all have. To move out of my parents' house, become somebody in life, and to be an adult finally. I graduated high school June 8, 2012. December 8, 2012, all those hopes and dreams and everything I'd ever hoped for come to an abrupt end. Literally shattered. In high school, guys, I was involved in baseball, I was involved in football, I was involved in everything agriculture, rodeo, and just anything and everything you could actually think of, man, I was involved in it. I love spending time with my family, love hunting, love fishing, love being a kid. But on top of all of it, I love drinking alcohol too. I didn't see a problem with it. I mean, the little town I grew up in, everybody done it, from the adults all the way down to the kids, you know. It's just a matter of what we did. Well, after I graduated, I went to work, got out of my family's house, and just went on and did what I wanted to do. I wanted to become an adult as fast as I could, so I graduated on Saturday, moved out of the house on Sunday, and hit the ground running. I went to work out of town on a directional drilling rig, and I had come back home, and whenever I got back into town, I called a couple buddies because I wasn't supposed to be back home, but for some reason I just happened to come in, and I was gonna go move some cows and do some other stuff, you know, just what we do in a little small country town, and go to a Christmas parade that night. And whenever I got home, it was kind of unexpected, so I went to my mom's house, and we were sitting there, and I asked her, I said, hey, will you take me up there to meet my buddies? And then I said, you know, I said, we're gonna go work at the barn, move some cows, we're gonna go to Christmas parade, and, you know, just do what we want to do. It's been a while since I've been home. And my mom said, yeah, I'll take you up there. So, and this is the morning of December 8, 2012. On my way from my mom's house up to the barn, it was only about a 5-10-minute drive. My mom looked at me and she said, you're 18 years old. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I'm proud of you. I said, thank you. She said, you're doing everything you know you're supposed to do. She said, and she said, I'm happy for what you're doing. She said, but son, she said, what you do scares me. Talking about my drinking and my driving and my partying. She said, guys, she said, one day, she said, I'm worried about I'm scared I'm gonna get a phone call one day or one night at some point to come identify your body because you're wrapped around a pine tree or that you've been in a fiery wreck or something like that. And you know, all of us kids at that point in time in our life are like, oh, that ain't never gonna happen to us. Mom, quit playing games. You know, that's unrealistic in this world. But guys, I'm gonna tell you something that's very realistic. Because 12 hours later, one of my friends had to call my mom and tell her, Kayla's been in a terrible wreck. 2 people are dead. We don't know who it is, but you need to get here now. After I had gone to the barn and everything that day, I went back over to the Christmas parade. I went back over to my buddy's house. and I decided to do something very selfish, something very disrespectful to others, and in complete disregard of others' safety too, guys. I made the decision to get behind the wheel after I drank and drove, and it didn't cost me my life, but it cost me 2 other people's lives. But what it did cost me, guys, it cost me my freedom. It cost me 9 years in the penitentiary. I just got out in September. I went down December 2014, and I got out September 2023. All the hopes and all the dreams that each and every one of y'all have sitting in these seats right now are the same exact ones I had, and I tell you what, in the blink of an eye, just like that, guys, it was taken away from me because of a selfish decision that I made to get behind the wheel after drinking and driving. So many people say, man, I can make it home. I know I can. It's just a mile up the road. I know I can make it. I did it just the other day. I know I can go here. It ain't happened to my family. It ain't happened to my friends. It's never happened to my parents. Guys, I wasn't even a half a mile from the house that I was at whenever I had my wreck. That's how real it is. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what might happen as soon as you pull out on the road. You never know what the conditions are. You think you're all right, but you're really not. Like I said, it took everything away from me. After my wreck, guys, I would lay up, and still to this day, it's not as bad now as it was, but it's not that I don't think about it, but I think about it each and every day. But when it first happened, guys, I would stay up crying in the night, had nightmares. People would look at me like I'm crazy because I'm walking around alive. Don't know how I was alive. Actually, I wish I had the pictures. I don't have them, guys, but it's only a miracle that I'm standing here, and you just have to believe me on that. But people look at me down because I survived. I made the selfish decision and took 2 innocent people's lives. You know, a community that used to upbring you, and a community that used to support you, and a community that used to be there for you, and people that you thought you were your friends and family of somewhat, turn their back on you because you made the decision that you made. You feel like you've lost everything in your life. Everything is just taken away from you, and I'll tell you what, that is the most empty, helpless feeling you'll ever feel in your life. And then to go through the rest of your life knowing that there was 2 people's lives taken off this earth too soon because of the decision that you made, it's not easy to deal with. It's very real. You know, just think about it like this. What if you were in my shoes and the 2 people that lost their lives were your best friends or your siblings? I thank God that it wasn't any of that. I mean, I'm very remorseful, and I'm very upset that it happened. Don't get me wrong. But guys, I'm happy that I'm still here to be able to come and help each and every one of y'all, and I hope that the testimonies that you hear, the things that we say, you know, it will shed light on the reality of these deals that can actually happen. Because my whole life, I didn't think anything like this would ever happen. Everybody I ran around with thought, no, man, that ain't never going to happen to any of us because it was something unheard of in our little town. There was never any of this going on. But then again, here it is. Here I stand before you with a testimony. The wreck scene, everything that y'all seen yesterday, and I'm living it. Each and every day I live it. And it's not something easy to walk with. It's not an easy burden that you can just carry on your backs each and every day and just keep your composure. It's hard. Believe me, it's hard. It's not worth it. The split decision that you have, whether to crack a beer or to crack a Dr. Pepper, man, the decision you have to make that is pretty easy. The decision you also have to make if you're going to go somewhere and drink, don't make the decision to get behind the wheel, because I'm telling you, just that split decision that you make is a life-altering, life-changing decision. And it's not worth the alternative, I promise. Everybody thought prison was cool, going to jail overnight was fun. There ain't nothing fun and there ain't nothing cool about any of it, I promise you. The food sucks, the beds are hard, the toilet paper ain't worth a crap. I'm telling you, it just ain't what you want to do. But guys, I mean, it's rough. It's real. And don't ever think it can't happen to you, because I promise you in the blink of an eye it can. I used to think the same exact things. The things that it will do to you, the things not only it'll do to you, but they'll do to your family and the community that you're from is heartbreaking. The misery and the pain that you can put your family through, your loved ones through, your close friends through, is not worth it. The hardest thing to have to do is turn around and walk away from your family when they're all crying and your hands are behind your back and you can't hug their neck, can't tell them you love them, can't reach out to them and comfort them because of the decisions that you made. That's not easy. And then to go through your life on the inside with your family on the outside, having to watch your family grow up through pictures, having to watch your family grow up through phone, or hear how your family grows up through phone calls, or a visitation that you might get every couple weeks, and just seeing the stages in life and everything that you miss, guys, it's hard. And it's not what you want to do. If you love your family, you love your friends, man, guys, I try to encourage you to make the decisions to stay right there where you're at, to stay with them. Don't take yourself away from them for a selfish decision that you wanted to make because you thought you were okay, because you thought you could make it. Guys, I appreciate y'all for y'all's time. I hope that something I've said is encouraged y'all in some way. And I appreciate the opportunity to speak to y'all. Thank y'all.
That's a true living testimony. Sometimes we're given an opportunity to answer the call through the trials and tribulations, and we're put to a test. But you're put to that test for him to be able to provide that testimony to each and every one of you. At this time, we're going to welcome to the stage Judge Randy Clapp to talk about some of the things that could possibly happen. Judge Clapp.
Morning, everybody. I'm the district judge for the 329th Judicial District of Texas, which is Wharton County. And it's my job to preside over cases like Caleb's, either a jury trial or a bench trial, or to take a plea if there's a plea deal done with the DA. And I only handle felony cases. Misdemeanor court is handled by Judge Spinrath. But if it's a felony, it comes to my court. And I want to share with you, well, first, you don't ever want to commit a felony because it can drastically alter your life. Caleb shared a little bit of that with you. I made a list. It's not complete. But if you have a felony conviction, you can't be a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant or a plumber or an electrician or a nurse or a real estate broker, a surveyor, a pilot, a truck driver with a CDL, a teacher, a barber, a beautician, a court reporter. You can't get a hunting license, and you can't own a gun. You can't be an insurance broker, a stockbroker, a banker, a financial planner, a bar owner, a convenience store owner, a cab driver, an Uber or Lyft driver, a massage therapist, a social worker, a probation officer, a police officer, and the list goes on and on. Most careers involve getting a license of some kind. Whether you want to be a beautician or if you want to be a lawyer, you have to go through a licensing process. And generally, if you have a felony conviction, you're not going to get there. You're going to have to figure out something else to do. And how easy is it to commit a felony? You heard about Caleb's experience, intoxication manslaughter, which is a second-degree felony. That's where you're DWI, you have an accident, it's your fault, and somebody dies. A second-degree felony is 2 to 20 years is the sentence for each count. If there's more than one person in the car that dies, then you have 2 counts or 3 counts, whatever the case may be. But there are other ways to commit a felony, and I see it every day in my court. And I want to share with you some of the things you don't want to do, because if things go bad while it's happening, then you will be doing it while you're committing a felony, and it would just change your life forever and basically ruin it. The easiest way to commit a felony in Texas is to not pull over. You know, if you see those flashing lights in your rearview mirror and you think you're clever and you don't pull right over, that's called evading in a motor vehicle. That is a felony, and I get them in my court every day. And it changes people's lives. It's amazing how easy it is to do that. Another good idea you might have is to go fishing down at the bay or on a lake somewhere and take your little brother or sister who's under the age of 15 with a cooler of beer. You're not giving beer to your brother or sister, but you might be drinking beer. And if you're intoxicated, it's a relatively new crime. Boating while intoxicated with a child passenger, that would be a person under the age of 15, in the boat with you, that's a felony. That is a felony. Same thing applies in a car. If you drive in a car, you're intoxicated, and you've got your little brother or sister with you, you've just committed a felony. Now, it's a third-degree felony or a state jail felony, so the penalties are less. A third-degree felony is 2 to 10 years, so the most you can get is 10 years. And if it's a state jail felony, then it's 6 months to 2 years. But the length of time is important. But the fact that you have this felony conviction is going to alter your life forever. And it happens all the time to people that I know, people that you know, good people who are just perhaps having a bad day. So how can that be that a good person, a really good person, has their entire life changed, ruined, altered, just because they had a bad day? Well, that's the law in the state of Texas. And it can happen to anybody in this room at any time. And so the way you keep it from happening is to think about these things. Think about this whole program. And when you're making decisions about what you're about to do in the next 5 minutes, you think about it. You think about it, and you don't do it. Any questions? I don't know if I'm supposed to take questions, but I'll give you that chance. Anybody have a question? All right. Well, I am going to pass on now to the next speaker. I've enjoyed sharing this with you. Have a good day.
Let's welcome to the stage Mr. Garrett Williams.
A lot of people in here. Thank you for the opportunity. My name's Garrett Williamson. I have limited time, so I'm just going to build a little alignment real quick and let you know I'm one of you. I grew up in this area, went to El Campo my freshman year, but majority of my time I went to Louise High School. If I had to describe myself, I was just a country boy. Loved to hunt and fish, probably like a lot of the guys and girls in here. And I love sports, primarily baseball. I played 4 years of college baseball, was All-American my junior year. Senior year, I was looking like I had pretty promising opportunity to be drafted to either the Devil Rays or the Detroit Tigers. Now, Christmas Eve, I made a choice to go visit some friends, had a couple drinks, was driving home, wasn't extremely intoxicated, but just had enough to make me doze off at the wheel. And I was not buckled in, and I had a car accident way out in the country going to my parents' house on Christmas Eve. And I was ejected from my truck, and a guy going deer hunting found me the next morning. And I was life flighted to Houston, and my life turned upside down. The dream I had chased my whole life, coming from a little school and being kind of an underdog, the odds were against me, was, it was trashed due to a decision I made. And it's been 16 years since, and I have opportunities to speak to people in churches and schools, and I love these opportunities because, if I can help one person just kind of change the course of their life, it's well worth it. Right now in this audience, there's really 3 types of people. If you had to examine your heart, there's people whose hearts are hardened to these type of messages. There's people that are willing to accept some of the things that are being said. They think about it, but then they move on with their life. And then there's a third person whose heart is perfect to receive these messages, and it will change the course of your life. The third person, if I had to talk about their heart, it's really they have a heart of humility. It's not rooted in pride. They lay hold of what these people are sharing at events like this, and they wield it to their advantage. So I encourage you, if you are not the third person, to just get quiet in your heart real quick and humble yourself and receive some of the things that I'm going to be sharing. Your life is formed in really by a set of choices that you're going to make. A lot of the choices that we make is really determined on who you're looking to. Everybody looks up to someone in life. It could be an athlete you want to be like one day, but more times than not, at your age, it's upperclassmen. It's the girl that you want to look like. It's the popular person. It's the guy that you want to become. And sadly, we usually look to the people that are the most popular, the ones who have a lot of fun, and oftentimes the ones who like to drink, have a good time, and get attention from other people. I will tell you, these are not the people that you need to look to, number one. You need to surround yourself with people who have separated themselves from the world. From the time you were born in this world, there are 2 forces trying to master you, whether you want to accept it or not, and it's light and darkness. I will not shy away from really talking about the root issue. Drinking and driving, being inebriated, being under the influence of anything, whether it's alcohol, drugs, etc. That's a symptom of a deeper rooted issue. And the real root of it is pride. And a lot of people don't talk about that. And when I say pride, when you roll the dice to get inebriated and do these things, you're saying, I can get away with it, or this won't happen to me. If you had to ask me if I ever thought my life would be where I'm at now, paralyzed, a dream taken from me, in a very difficult life, to say the least, but it has a lot of silver linings. Like, I would never guess this is where I would have been. It's the same for someone who goes and gets a doctor checkup and they say, you have stage 4 cancer. Life will come knocking at your door. It's just a matter of time. And for most of you, I hope it's later than sooner, but it's going to come. And how you respond is really what you've rooted your life in. You have to have an anchor. And, that anchor cannot be set in something that's worldly. It has to be set in something that's divine and something that is true. And there's a truth out there that a lot of people want to ignore. And he has a name. That name is Jesus. And a lot of schools don't want that name talked about. After my accident, I was searching. I grew up in a Christian household. I did the church thing. I wore the little title, I'm a Christian. If someone asks, I'm like, yeah, I believe. But to be honest, I didn't really know him. I didn't have anything personal. I didn't have anything tangible. And honestly, I didn't want it unless there was something tangible. In 2015, my life, and this is after my injury, was pretty good. Had a good job. Very diverse friend group from all walks of life. Different colors, different creeds, different spiritual backgrounds. And I was pretty desperate, despite my life being pretty well put together after the injury. And I held the Bible in my hand in my apartment, and I said everything in this book is wish-wash. And I had even spoken in a lot of schools and churches and, saying, hey, you need to believe. But what I concluded is everybody felt like they held the truth, regardless of their background. They believed with all their heart that they held the truth. And when I held that book in my hand and I uttered those words, everything in this book is wish-wash, I heard a voice speak to me. And it scared me. I was alone in my apartment, but I knew it was outside of me. And that voice said two things to me. And it said, seek with all your heart, and there you'll find me. And then seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. I couldn't deny what happened. It was a pivotal moment in my life, which was about 8 years ago. And I had a good feeling that because I held the Bible when I uttered that, this was the man Jesus himself. That led me to a year of seeking him with all my heart. I knew it didn't mean more church, more events, not that any of those things are bad, or youth groups. But it was the posture of my heart. And that posture was one of humility and desperation. 3 weeks after I started taking that journey, I started experiencing the Lord himself in more tangible ways. He exposed the pride in my heart, decisions that I had made in my entire life, and my arrogance, and I did not consider myself to be an arrogant person comparatively to some of the other people that I've known in my life. Since then, I have seen him manifest himself in my life in supernatural ways, through praying for people who are sick with cancer, to people who have been debilitated by ailments in their body, and I've seen them healed, all the while I'm still in the wheelchair. And it's been a journey I've embraced, because if I'm going to believe something for my own life, I need to believe for others as well. And I know the root issue of everything we're talking about today really comes back to him. Some of you are going to still roll the dice after today and in college. My hope is that nothing bad happens to you. But, we have some pretty not exaggerated, but extreme examples, including myself and some others that will speak of what can happen. The worst thing that can happen to you is not actually to be in a car accident, be in a wheelchair, or, kill somebody. It's actually for you to use your life, because you're going to meet your maker whether you realize that or not. And you want to be on the right side of eternity, because at the end of the day, it is eternal. With that, I will tell you that you choose to continue to indulge yourself, live in your pride, you will make bad decisions. That will open opportunities for things to come into your life that could have been prevented. And I hope that you will have the humility and the audacity to answer the call of the one who's been knocking at the door of your heart your whole life, whether you realize it or not. He's not a taskmaster. He's not a control freak. He just wants you to know him, and you want to be known by him. It is the best thing you can do in your life. Surround yourself with people who are answering that call today. It's not an easy one to answer. When this happened to my life, had a lot of friends up in Houston. They chose to remain my friend, but they said, look, if you're going that direction, have fun. We'll be over here on this side of the fence if you ever want to come back. So there was about a year of isolation where it was just me and him. hanging out. I was getting to know him, learning his voice, learning his ways, and I'm still doing that today. I often reflect back on my life, and I wonder often, like, yeah, I would like some more normalcy in my life, you know. I'm constantly in pain in my physical body, but I've learned how to deal with it. There's been opportunities I haven't been invited to by my friends, not because there's anything, no hostility from them, but you know, physical activities to one degree or the other is a little bit more difficult for me, depending on what they want to do. And so, you know, you have to get used to sometimes what can appear as loneliness and how to really deal with some of the thoughts that come in your mind through those occasions. And I want you guys to avoid ever having to go through that. You will lose people in your life. No matter what school you're at, even when I was growing up before this happened to me, there were some people that lost their lives, younger than me and older than me, directly correlated to making bad decisions, being prideful and rolling the dice and getting behind the wheel. And they're not here anymore. And what side of eternity they're on, I don't know. Maybe I will find out one day. There's a lot of opportunities before all you guys. Your potential is probably more vast than what you even realize. And depending on who you compare yourself to, you know, you could sometimes limit yourself. And so I'd say don't compare yourself against anybody. And that's the important of kind of like the golden key in life, which is Jesus himself. Go to him because he'll reveal your potential. He'll stretch you past your limitations, whether it's you want to be a professional athlete one day, an engineer, you want to have influence in the world, he'll show you the way. And he will impart on you wisdom and knowledge, which will guide you and keep you on a straight path and keep you from straying. And he's so graceful that many of you are still going to go out into left field. And he has a way of bringing you back into the front and center of where you should be. That's kind of what I felt in my heart. I didn't want to come to this event today because I don't like the name. But I realize it's a relevant event, and I've spoken at them before. I don't want to be a poster child of someone of a shattered dream because I'm still chasing new dreams. But they've shifted vastly. And I specifically asked the Lord, I was complaining about this. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to come and be a face to this event. And he said, talk about the root issue. I was like, well, what is that? And he said, it's pride. He resists the proud, but he shows compassion on the humble. And if you don't know how to be humble, or if you say you are humble, just go to him and he'll love you through it, and he'll show you areas in your heart where you are being prideful. I know that's kind of or possibly can be a little bit of a hard message. And I want you to know it's meant to encourage you. I still have a lot of good years ahead of my life, and I've seen my life get pieced back together in a way that is full of silver linings. I've traveled the world, or to many countries, in ways I never thought I would after my injury. I've seen some of the most broken of broken people. I hung out with homeless people countless times, especially when I was living in Houston and Rio de Janeiro. And without this accident, without me finding the Lord, like I never think I would have done that before. So I've seen brokenness that's at a greater degree than what I've dealt with. Someone's always got it harder than you. And someone always may have it a little better, at least on the surface level, than what you have it today. I thank y'all for the opportunity. I hope this soaks in. And especially listen to my friend Jesse. He's got an amazing story. And like I honor him for answering the call, despite what he's gone through as well. And lay hold of these truths and sit with them over the weekend and really think about it. Because very soon you'll be faced with another decision on the weekend. What should I do? And you're going to have to make a choice. Either run with the herds and go the direction they want to go, which is the popular way, or come out and be separate. Thank you.
Before you go, I just want to thank you for allowing this whole auditorium to understand where your soul has been anchored and the rock and the foundation that you chose to anchor in. I thank you for sharing that, because this district, no matter what they say about schools, he's present here, and we thank you for coming and sharing your story with us today. At this time, we're going to welcome to the stage Ms. Kaylee Boudreau, who is a respiratory therapist. And she's going to share with us some of the things that can happen when we use those things that people think are just vapes. So she's going to share with us a few things about vaping.
Hello, everybody. Can y'all hear me from right here? So my name's Kaylee Boudreau. I am a respiratory therapist. I have been for going on 8 years, coming up in May. It's gone by really fast. A lot of y'all probably, well, students and a lot of the staff probably know my mom, Bonnie Peterson. I think she's probably one of y'all's best biology teachers ever, but you know, I'm biased, so. So I'm kind of gonna go off the topic of drinking and accidents and all of that. We're gonna kind of hone in on vaping, and then go into fentanyl and how it's affecting our teens, because they're both really becoming and have been a big problem in America for a few years now, and so we're gonna kind of go into that. So let's go. What's vaping? So I don't want to put anybody on blast, so you don't have to answer this out there, but I know too many of our students here vape. I know a lot of y'all own a vape, and you might even have it with you right now. You don't have to admit to it. You know who you are, but I'm talking to you, okay? This is something that you really need to listen to. You need to think about it and just kind of think about where you want your life to go, okay? So what is vaping? Vaping is the heating of a liquid, turns it into an aerosol or a vapor for you to breathe in. What are we vaping in this liquid? A lot of it's nicotine, but there's a multitude of other chemicals that are getting put into these vaping liquids that maybe you don't really know about, and you don't know the effects that it's having on your body. So that's kind of what I want to share with you this morning. So what's in our vaping cartridges? The biggest thing is nicotine. Well, it's the #1 reason why y'all are vaping, or just America is vaping in general. People lean towards nicotine as a stress reliever, right? Kind of makes you feel good. It kind of helps you chill out a little bit. Problem with nicotine is over time, you build up a resistance to it. And the more you vape it, the more you breathe it in, whether it's cigarettes, honestly, or a vape, the more you consume it, the more you need to get that same effect. So you start with one dose, maybe you're vaping here and there, just to kind of chill out a little bit. Before you know it, your body's craving it even more. And that stress that you used to get relief from just maybe hitting your vape every once in a while, all of a sudden, you're getting to where you're needing to hit that vape every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, just to calm down. So it ends up creating more stress on your body than it's helping. The second big thing with nicotine is it hinders the brain development. What you might not know is the adolescent brain is developing until all the way up until 25 years old. You're not completely mature yet. It's still trying to figure itself out. You're still trying to figure out how to balance your mood, how to balance impulse control, your anger. Your brain's still figuring out how to completely be able to focus, right? And so you're taking in this nicotine, and all of a sudden you're affecting your brain's ability to figure all of that stuff out, right? So that's going to hurt you in the long run. Several of these other ingredients in your vape are a lot of heavy metals, nickel, lead, and tin. Then you have carcinogens. What's a carcinogen? It's a chemical known. We know it to cause cancer. It's in your vape liquid. Okay, and another one, benzene. It's a volatile organic compound found in your car exhaust. It's in your vape liquid as well. What's another one? It's called diacetyl. It's a chemical linked to lung disease. It's in your vape liquid. All these things that you're not thinking about. You think you're just getting that one, whatever drug it is, the nicotine, whether it's weed that you're putting in there or whatever else you're smoking, you think that's all you're getting is that and water and flavor. No, these chemicals are in your vape liquid. And they're building up over time, and they're causing a breeding ground for infection and a multitude of other problems. So I want y'all to think about that. Here, I have a couple pictures, and I'm going to kind of go over them because I know what I'm looking at, but y'all might not. So I have a picture of a normal lung and of what we call popcorn lung. Let's see. On the left side, we have a normal lung on the left side, popcorn lung on the outside. The big picture of the lung looks the same. What it's zoning in on is the individual tubes. So your normal lung, it's nice and big. All the tubes are nice and big. They're relaxed. They're open. You can breathe, no problem, right? Well, a popcorn lung, all of a sudden you're finding scar tissue that didn't used to be there. There's inflammation, swelling that didn't used to be there. The little tube that used to breathe through is all of a sudden a quarter of the size, half the size. There's mucus that is there, but normally it's in very small amounts. Your body creates mucus to get rid of a foreign object or infection. So now you have this mucus that's there in multiplied amounts, making it hard to breathe. On the right side here, the top one, you see the black, that's air. That's just open space, that's the air going in and out of your lungs. It's a normal lung, you're not having any trouble. On the bottom there, you see, in the middle is the heart, but then out in all that black space, you see a whole lot more white. Kind of looks like a spider web. That's all of the inflammation and scarring, and this is chronic, where it's meaning long-term disease now that you're having to live with from smoking. So it's going to create problems in your future just breathing. So maybe now you have to wear oxygen. Maybe if you used to cheer, well, you can't go out there and cheer anymore because you can't breathe. You're too short of breath. You can't dance. You can't play football. You know, all these things that maybe you think, well, I don't want to do that after high school anyways. Well, how about just running around and having fun with the children you want to have in the future. And you can't do that in the backyard. You can't run around with your kids. Or just a fun day, just hanging out, playing some beach volleyball because you're catching up with old friends. But you can't do it because you can't breathe. The next thing I have here, if you Google, there's a multitude of videos out there, news stories out there from teens who are speaking up because it's been a problem. And I have a short one to share with you here. A teenager out of Utah that ended up on life support for a few days, and so I'm gonna play this for y'all. Hopefully, it'll work just fine. No volume. I'm not the tech savvy person. Okay. Not coming across on y'all. Well, I don't get a lot of this message if you can't hear it.
Vaping was fine. I did all the tricks, all the times, like from all sorts of vape shops across Utah County, and I used naked.
Sorry guys, let me see if I can get this fixed. Anybody want to help me back there? Start it from the beginning. Well, it's not going back to the beginning. I don't know why.
I thought vaping was fine. I did all the tricks all the time.
A month ago, you'd find Maddie vaping every day, posting pictures and video on social media.
I used all sorts of different products, like from all sorts of vape shops across Utah County, and I used Naked Jew Hospital for one night, and I was actually there for 4 days.
From there, she says she ended up at Timpanogos Regional Hospital in the ICU for 3 days. Doctors would figure out
I had fat particles growing inside my lungs that were related to the glycerin in vape juice. So, and then my lungs were full of fluid, and they said that my chest x-rays was one of the worst that they've ever seen.
How they explained it to her family.
When you inhale,
cases, just like Maddie, ended with severe illness and hospitalization.
My family seriously thought that I had passed away, and when I found that out, it just made me so sad.
A few weeks later, you can see Maddie is doing much better, though.
It's very scary because the doctors don't know the long-term effects of this, so they don't know what the healing process is even supposed to be like.
Maddie still needs to use oxygen at night, but she doesn't need this.
After going through that, I would never touch a vape again.
Now, in addition to all of the medical stuff, there's also...
So it kind of, that was a little rough, but y'all get the picture. And if you get on with your parents, get on with your friends, look it up. There's many more, all across the United States. Okay. So I'm going to switch gears here with y'all. Let's. Oh, it wants to play again. Let's see. Okay, we're going to go into fentanyl. So, what do we know about fentanyl? It's a synthetic opioid. Means it's a strong pain reliever made in a lab. It's not natural. It has to be mixed up and made. It's a pretty cheap drug to make. What we're seeing here on the streets, most of it's not getting. Some of it's getting made in the United States. Most of it's not. a big supplier to the fentanyl crisis that we're seeing on the streets is getting made in China and Russia. It's coming across into Mexico, and the drug cartel in Mexico is using it because it's cheap and it's highly potent. And so they're mixing and they're making all these counterfeit street drugs like Xanax for anxiety, for Percocet, it's another anxiety medication, for heroin, for oxycodone, all these street drugs that they're making. Well, they're mixing in fentanyl with it because it's cheap and you need just a tiny bit to be super, super effective. And these guys aren't measuring. They don't care. They're making big batches, they're throwing it in, and they're making the pills. And then it's getting smuggled across into the United States, and it's getting sold. You think you're buying something to ease your anxiety, and it has a lethal dose of fentanyl in it. So it's, fun fact, it's 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine and 100 times more addicting than heroin. People are getting addicted, and they don't even know what they're getting addicted to. This is good for the drug cartel because it makes them more money. Their customers are coming back time and time again. The problem with that is you can take one, be fine, take another one, be fine. Your 5th dose, your 100th dose, you're dead because it only takes one pill. On this picture here, you see a penny, and down on the right-hand corner is 2 milligrams of fentanyl. That's all it takes. That's considered a lethal dose of fentanyl. The pills that we're seeing on the streets, these counterfeit pills we're seeing on the streets, have anywhere under that up to 10 milligrams of fentanyl. And you don't know it. You can't smell it. It doesn't have a taste. You have no idea until it's too late. Because in minutes, you take a lethal dose of fentanyl, in minutes, you can be dead. What it does, under controlled situations, fentanyl is designed to relax the body, lowers your respirations, your breathing, lowers your heart rate, brings your blood pressure down, and it kind of just chills you out. A lethal dose of fentanyl, within minutes, it stops your breathing. Your heart cannot work without breathing. Your lungs bring oxygen into your body. You stop getting oxygen, within minutes, your heart stops. And if you don't have someone there knowing what's happening and knowing what to do, that's it. There's no coming back. It's over. So it's a big, big, big problem. What the CDC and the DEA is pushing so hard right now is for our teens, our youth, our parents to know what these pills are looking like. And pay attention to what's coming into your home. So on the top here, you see it's getting called the candy drug. This is counterfeit, colored, supposed to look like some sweet tarts. Nobody's scared of sweet tarts. They're good. Well, I can get a whole box. All I'm going to get is a sugar rush. Who cares? All mixed with fentanyl. On the bottom, you have some examples of what the cartels are making. On the top is a real pill. On the bottom is a fake pill. They look exactly the same. The number, the letter is exactly the same, but the font is just a little bit different. So if you don't know what you're looking at, you would have no idea. You think you're on the street buying something, the person selling it to you is telling you, oh no, this is exactly what it is and that's all it is. They're doing that to get you to buy it. but it has fentanyl in it. And you have no way to know how much. I had a patient come in. I work primarily emergency room and ICU. I've had several patients come in overdose, unfortunately. I've had several drunken accidents come in, unfortunately. But more recently, I had a woman come in. She was in her, she's alive and well as far as I know at home, so that's good. But she came in because she was just feeling a little weird. She had been for a few days. And her heart rate was really low. Your heart rate's supposed to be, you know, our normal is 60 to 100. She came in, we were putting on her on the monitors, and her heart rate was in the 30s. And we didn't know why. Her labs were normal. She doesn't really have a history of anything. She had her mom in the room, so she wasn't really telling us much. Well, if we don't really know what's going on and none of our labs are coming back, I mean, we're testing for everything. So we're doing a toxicology screen. We're gonna see, you're telling me you're not taking anything, but we're gonna run your urine, we're gonna run your blood and make sure there's nothing in your system that we don't know about. It comes back and she has a multitude of different drugs, including fentanyl in her body. Her mom leaves the room and she finally tells us she bought Xanax off of the street. Little did she know it was mixed with a multitude of different things. She's lucky that all that happened was that her body slowed down and it didn't stop. And this is happening all over. And a lot of people aren't quite so lucky. Hopefully she didn't buy any more. Hopefully if she had any at home, she flushed them down the toilet. A few statistics that I have here from the DEA. The DEA seized enough counterfeit fentanyl in 2022 to kill every single American. And there's more on the streets, right? Because it's coming in all the time. It's getting sold all the time. Counterfeit pills laced with highly potent doses of fentanyl accounted for 77% of teen overdose in 2021. This isn't just adults. Our kids are buying this. Our kids are getting it from trusted friends, trusted adults. It's in our homes. The DEA tests all these pills that they seize, and 6 out of 10 fentanyl-laced fake counterfeit pills had lethal doses of fentanyl in them. I'm gonna finish it with another little video. Hopefully this will go a little bit. Oh look, I have help.
Fentanyl is a highly potent opioid. It's at least 50 times more potent than heroin. People are being exposed to fentanyl without knowing it, and because it's so highly potent, people are dying at unprecedented rates. What's happened in the United States is fentanyl has entered into all these different parts of our drug supply, including the heroin supply. Cocaine, for example, have increasingly been tainted with fentanyl. Pills that are sold on the street that might look like regular prescription pills are very often fake counterfeit pills that have been made with fentanyl in them. Someone experiencing an overdose will have this decrease in breathing, might lose consciousness, might start to turn blue or pale, and within a few minutes can die. Narcan is sprayed up the nose, which is very easy for people to administer. It's safe, it's effective, there's virtually no downside to doing so. It's a critical tool that I encourage everybody to carry with them, to have in their homes, so that they can act quickly if they need to. From 2019 to 2021, overdose deaths among 10 to 19-year-olds in the United States more than doubled. In pediatrics, we're not used to our young, healthy patients suddenly dying from things like overdoses, but it's increasingly become a reality for so many of us who practice right now. I have had patients die. I've had patients whose family members have died, and all of these people are children, brothers, sisters, moms, dads, family members, and they're all loved, and these deaths are often unexpected and tragic.
So I would just like to end with, I know how much my mom cares about y'all, because I hear it all the time. If y'all didn't know, she talks about her students often. Sometimes I have to tell her, okay, Mom, can we talk about something else? But she loves y'all, and I know she's not the only teacher that does. So you might feel like maybe at home you don't have support. Maybe at home you don't have anybody to talk to, okay? But here, I can promise you, there's more than one teacher, friend, staff member that cares about you. So if you need help, or you're concerned about a friend who you can see them tunneling and they're not paying attention to the warning flags, and you want to get them help, talk to your teachers, talk to your counselors, go talk to my mom, okay? There's help out there, and we don't want y'all to feel alone. Your teachers don't want you to feel alone, okay? Because I know the last thing that any of them want is to see your picture in the newspaper and have to come to your funeral, okay? And that's what your classmates don't want that either, okay? All right, thank y'all.
At this time, Please God, I'm Only 17 by Regina Barnes.
The day I died was an ordinary day. How I wish I had taken the bus, but I was too cool for the bus. I remember how I wheedled the car out of my mom. Special favor, I pleaded. All the kids drive. When the 2:50 bell rang, I threw all my books in the locker. I was free until 8:40 tomorrow morning. I ran to the parking lot, excited at the thought of driving a car and being my own boss. Free. It doesn't matter how the accident happened. I was goofing off, going too fast, taking crazy chances. But I was enjoying my freedom and having fun. The last thing I remembered was passing an old lady who seemed to be going awfully slow. I heard a deafening crash and I felt a terrible jolt. Glass and steel flew everywhere. My whole body seemed to be turning inside out, and I heard myself scream. Suddenly, unawakened, it was very quiet. A police officer was standing over me, and then I saw a doctor. My body was mangled. I was saturated in blood. Pieces of jagged glass were sticking out all over, and it's strange that I couldn't feel a thing. Hey, don't pull that sheet over my head. I can't be dead. I'm only 17. I've got a date tonight. I'm supposed to be growing up and having a wonderful life. I haven't lived yet. I can't be dead. Later, I was placed in a drawer. My folks had to identify me. Why did they have to see me like this? Why did I have to look at my mom's eyes when she faced the most terrible ordeal of her life? Dad suddenly looked at the old man. He told the man in charge, yes, he is my son. The funeral was a weird experience. I saw all of my relatives and friends walk toward the casket. They passed by one, and looked at me with the saddest eyes I have ever seen. Some of my buddies were crying. A few of the girls touched my hand and sobbed as they walked away. Please, somebody wake me up. Get me out of here. I can't bear to see my mom and dad so broken up. My grandparents are so racked with grief that they can hardly walk. My brother and sisters are like zombies. They move like robots in a daze, everybody. No one can believe this, and I can't believe it either. Please don't bury me. I'm not dead. I have a lot of living to do. I want to laugh and run again. I want to sing and dance. Please don't put me in the ground. I promise if you give me one more chance, God, I will be the most careful driver in the whole world. All I want is one more chance. Please, God, I am only 17.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Let me just tell you, we have been here before at El Campo at another event just like this about 5 years ago, I think. We actually travel around the state. My son and I, this is Sean Carter, I'm Jenny Carter. Our nonprofit is called When Sean Speaks, and the ironic thing about it is Sean cannot speak. He talks with his iPad. He actually has been, we've been in front of 450,000 people. Gosh, and this is a huge crowd. And I want to tell you that it means a lot to us to have this many people together and have all of you be as quiet speakers as you are, because we have not had that recently in the school. But anyway, Sean's going to speak to you. Let him try. Let's see.
Mic check. 1, 2, 6,023,000.
Can you hear it at the back? He's thinking it's the back.
this work? Is this working? Yeah, let me use this. Okay, so Sean's going to talk to you, and while he does, I'm going to share a video with you. It has no sound. It's me taking care of him 19 years ago. Sean had an event that happened that changed his life forever. As you can see in that picture over there, he was once a model. He once could have walked in here just like all of you, and he would have talked just like you. Ready? So I'm turning the mic over, and I'm going to start this video for you. Okay. I just have to tell you one thing. This is very important, and I forgot. In this video, I'm taking care of Sean. He's deep in a coma. I'm changing his diapers. He wants me to always remember to tell people he hasn't worn diapers in a really long time. That's what he wanted me to say. Now, if this goes off, will you please let me know, because it should play the entire time that he's speaking. It might get stuck, but I don't think so. So go ahead, Sean.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Sean Carter, and I suffered a traumatic brain injury, or TBI, in 2005, when I was 22 years old. I'm going to tell you a little about why I was asked to speak today. 19 years ago, I had the same dreams that many young people have. I wanted to graduate college and create a life for myself. I planned to go on to law school, and I had already been a model in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and had spent my 21st birthday living in New York City modeling, hoping to strike it rich, so I could pay for my dream to become an attorney. I wanted to eventually have a family, and the dreams went on. But in just seconds, my life changed forever. It was the Saturday night of Easter Sunday, March 2005. I was attending college at Midwestern State University in Wichita Falls, Texas. Being 22 at that time, and like many newly legal drinking adults, I thought drinking was just something I did to have fun. Boy, how I wish I knew then what I know now. I had decided to go out with a couple of buddies. Knowing that I was planning on drinking, I didn't want to drive. We were all over 21, so it was legal for us to drink. Thing is, I didn't really think about my ride home. I just knew I wasn't driving. I never had that important conversation with the driver. Hey, you are the designated driver. You can't drink. Honestly, I don't know if we even knew the term designated driver back then. So, we went out to a couple of bars, and we must have had far more than a couple of drinks. I'm sure I was too drunk to be aware that the driver had way too much to have the responsibility of driving us home. On the way home, the driver lost control of his pickup truck, and when it spun and slammed into a tree exactly where I was sitting, my life was shattered forever, just like my body was back then. Many of the bones on the right side of my body, my leg, my arm, my collarbones were fractured. My pelvis shattered. I also suffered from numerous internal injuries. My bladder was ruptured. My liver and spleen lacerated. My right lung was collapsed. None of that mattered because I also sustained a very severe traumatic brain injury that left me totally non-responsive. I was transported to Parkland Hospital in Dallas, where I was admitted to ICU. Oops, I didn't mean I was not considered out of coma for 39 days. By that time, I had been transferred to Baylor Institute of Rehabilitation's CONA program in Dallas. When I emerged from coma, I became aware of the hell that I was trapped in. I could no longer speak, and I could only move my head and my left arm and index finger. I had a really ugly metal contraption screwed into my hips to keep my pelvis stable so that it could heal. It used to scare me when I looked down on it, but I had no way to tell anyone. Recognizing all of the care I was going to require, my mom quit her job to care for me 24/7, 365. We honestly didn't know what the future would hold for us. But here I am today. Remember, 19 years later, trapped in my body, still unable to talk, and totally dependent upon this big walker or my power wheelchair to move around through my world. It has been a non-stop journey to recover what I lost. I now work out and lift weights 7 days a week. I work out hard because I want to keep my body physically ready to walk. And the day that my brain communicates with every muscle in my body correctly, I will have the strength to use all of the muscles required to walk without my walker. In 2007, I began sharing my story. Along with my mom, I speak to groups about the dangers of drunk driving and being the passenger with a drunk driver. Mom and I founded a nonprofit, When Sean Speaks. That funds our speaking, allowing me to earn a salary and give up my Social Security disability, and we have the opportunity to do things for other survivors of traumatic brain injury. In 2013, we partnered with the Watch Your Back Department of Texas A&M Agri-Life as self-grantees of Guerra. I am called a public speaker. However, this iPad speaks what I type, so I suppose it would be more accurate to say, I am a public typist. We have now spoken at more than 650 venues and to more than 450,000 people. We have traveled as far away as Long Island, New York, and Seattle, Washington to speak. We have been on North Carolina and Mississippi speaking 2 different times. While my cognition is intact, it was so very hard emotionally to accept what my life had become. And every now and then, I will still have moments that I struggle with thinking about what my life could have been, had I not gotten into the truck with a drunk driver. My life is hard. It's harder because I was too concerned about having fun and not using wisdom to think about, is that night of fun really going to help my future? It took a radically different route than the one I was planning, but I am still here. I couldn't figure out how this could happen to me. Why would God let it happen? I blamed him a lot at first, and then I finally came to grips that my abuse of alcohol was responsible, not God. My life has moved on, though, just as everyone's does. I used to feel like I wouldn't be whole until I talk and walk, but I believe God is using my disability to give others hope. Looking back on what brought me to today, my outlook has totally changed. I want people to quit calling these catastrophic events accidents. It is not an accident that causes a person to drink and then get into their car to drive. If someone is hurt or killed because a driver is drunk, that is a crime because of a crash, a wreck, not an accident. Instead of drinking, get involved volunteering. Get involved with sports or exercising. Get involved with the church. Just get involved with life. This brings us to the focus for today. Do you know that on Texas roads, we have not had a day without a death since November 7th, 2000? There has been at least one traffic fatality a day. That is 23 years. This record is not one we Texans can be proud of. It is time that all Texas drivers did their part. If each driver commits to being safe behind the wheel, neither driving drunk, impaired, or distracted, we can end the streak. Together we can make a safer Texas for all of us.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Trying to get one that would fit in this time frame. He normally takes a little bit longer and I talk a little bit longer, but y'all have been sitting here a long time and we really appreciate your attention. We would like to just give you an opportunity to see if anybody has a question they want to ask real quick. We're not going to take long. Well, actually, we probably went faster than we needed to worry about. But anybody, does anybody have a question you'd like to ask? Okay, so shall I tell you about what happened to the driver and the guy in the middle in this truck? You didn't see the truck, you didn't see the pictures of it, but Sean was riding in a Dodge Ram single cab pickup that had a bench seat. He was seat belted in the driver's side, in the passenger side, there was a guy in the middle and the driver. When the driver lost control of that truck, it spun and slammed into the tree where Sean was sitting. You heard all that. You heard about all the fractures that he had and the brain injury that he sustained. Well, the guy in the middle slid forward into the dash. His knees got a little bruised. He had a puncture wound. He was taken to the hospital, treated, and released. Now, I need to give you a backstory about the driver. The driver actually had a full ride scholarship to Baylor University to play football, and he got kicked out of that program for drinking. He was given a second chance by the athletic director at Midwestern State University, and he got kicked out of that program for drinking as well. He was stumbling around drunk, uninjured at the scene of the crash. He told the crash scene investigator later that he'd had from 12 to 15 drinks in an hour. He was extremely drunk. He had not been drinking beer. He was extremely drunk. He was charged with and convicted of intoxication assault. And he was given the maximum sentence. It is a felony. He was given 10 years. However, he was given probation. So when you look at Sean's life and probation, there is a huge difference there. But this guy was picked up again at about year 5, 2 different times, driving while impaired, and was finally incarcerated in Huntsville, which is a maximum security prison. While there, he had the letters felon tattooed on his knuckles. I guess he had some pride there. I don't really know why you would do that. Anyway, the 10 years have long since passed. He's been released, and from what we hear, he's been in and out of drug and alcohol rehabilitation centers. He is extremely addicted to drugs and alcohol. His drinking started, kids, when he was in the 8th grade. That's frequently how addictions happen, because you start young. Nowadays, you have the opportunity to take Uber, Lyft if you're in a big city going to school. You can take a taxi, but we really discourage kids. We don't want you drinking. Your parents, they might say, you know, as long as you're under my roof, but it's not really going to get us anywhere drinking until you're of age. Your body can handle it better, and you are more mature to handle it. But anyway, I'm going to quit preaching because you've heard enough this morning, I think.